real estate, well, depending on the kind of real estate, is a cash flow asset. But do you want cash flow? Folks, here's how money works. It's pretty simple. The money that you earn, you want to use to make more money. And then you just keep earning as much as you can. And you take that earned money and you invest it into passive money. And pretty soon your passive nest egg is making you more than you can earn on your own. And then you can start freaking becoming a full-time investor. But you literally have to earn enough money to begin with. You can't be an investor with fucking $18 left over after your, job pays you, and you pay taxes, and then you pay rent, and then you pay for dry cleaning, and then you pay for food, and then you bought a fucking dog, so now you need dog food, and you ain't making that much. So what do? Well, you don't do anything. You're stuck in the rat race. Money is a tool. Think about this. Money is a tool, and the tool is to make more of it, meaning this money is to make more of it. So that's the only purpose for this money. A lot of people save money, and that's like saving tools. Why would you save tools? So when you transition from a business owner to an investor, it means that you don't have to own the business anymore. Maybe you exited for 8-9 figures, and now you have a bunch of liquidity that you can go invest in. You're an investor because you sold your business. You exited your business. Now, if I'm a dude starting with zero, I would go master my skill set, and I would learn to sell, market, and communicate like a champ. And those 3 things will allow me to be in business instantly for anybody. Why? Well, because I don't have to have a product of my own to sell. I need a product to sell. So all I need is the skill set to communicate, market, generate interested parties, and close deals, close business for any company. And then I say, I just want a little commish, a little piece for the niece, a little fraction of the action. And next thing you know, you're making $200,000-$300,000 a year. If you have to sleep on a couch while you're doing it, boo-hoo, call a ambulance. That's forging you. That's toughening you up. Think about it like this. If shit wasn't tough, that's the universe's way to weed out the undeserving. You see? So when you get tough situations happening, you want to realize how lucky you actually are. That's gratitude. Gratitude puts your frequency up here. Your frequency is technically what you frequently see. So if you're frequently looking at the problem, you're going to get more problems. You're frequently looking for solutions, you're going to find more solutions. The better you are in finding solutions, the better problem solver you are. If you're a problem solver, you can't be broke. There's no such thing as fucking zero money. Why? Because you're a problem solver, and people pay for solutions. People pay to solve their fucking problems. Well, you attract wealthy clients by, advertising or surrounding yourself where wealthy people go. Wealthy clients usually, operate a lot off referral too. So, make sure your clients are well taken care of. Make sure you start with one wealthy client, and then 9 times out of 10, that's where you attract and get more wealthy clients. But if you're looking for wealthy clients, then you have to figure out what your avatar looks like. And then ask yourself, where do they live? What do they read? Where do they eat? Where do they go? What airlines do they fly? What destinations do they go to? What hotels do they come to? And then you figure out, how do you reach them? Here's my Brad advice if you want to find somebody. Number one, go out a lot. Go out, hang with your friends. Go do shit that makes you uncomfortable. Go meet new people, but try to be in the places those people would be. Like if you hang out with a bunch of dirtbags in a dirtbag place, you're going to end up with a dirtbag. You go hang out at a freaking nice place with nice people, you're going to end up with someone nice. And to think that there's nobody out there is just fucking scarcity mindset. Like, you don't need to think that way. There is somebody out there. There's plenty of people out there. You're just not finding them. Why? Because you're at the gym minding your own business. Bitcoin is what everybody seems to want. So I just keep my Bitcoin. When someone says, hey, what about this new coin? And I say, well, how do I get it? And they're like, give me some of your Bitcoin. And I'm like, well, why would you be wanting Bitcoin for this new coin if it's so valuable? And they don't have an answer for it because all they want is my Bitcoin. So I just stick with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the reward you get when you solve or you add a block to the blockchain. So literally it's just a reward, and there's finite amount of them. So once they're all gone, well, then obviously they can be fragmented into anything. Well, Bitcoin is the king coin. So again, I would just say hold Bitcoin. But yes, I do. I own Bitcoin and I own Ethereum, but I don't mess with all the little sub coins. I call them shit coins. Understand that the future is dependent on 3 categories: mindset, skill set, habits. If your mindset's screwed up, you're done. If your freaking mindset's good but you suck at what you do, you're done. So you got to have your mindset right, you got to have your skill set right, and then you got to have your habits right, because if your habits are fucked up, you're fucked up. Matter of fact, you show me somebody that's fucked up and I'll show you fucked up habits, which boil down to bad decisions. And if you can't stop making bad decisions, well, then you're doomed. So what do? If you're starting at zero, you realize you got to start thinking abundantly. You got to start freaking thinking and being grateful that you're in this situation. Why? Because it's forging you. That's why. It really is. Most people don't believe that, but it's true because they don't have the right mindset. So imagine if I said, hey, I'll give you $10 billion, but you're going to have to go through some discomfort. You'd be like, I don't give a fuck. Why? Because you know that 10 billion's coming. The challenge comes when you don't know that it's coming. Honestly, if I only had 10K to invest, I would invest it into myself. I would invest it into some sort of skill that I can learn to make more money than I'm making currently, because I only have 10 grand, so I can't be making that much. So at the end of the day, I would take that 10 grand and I would educate myself somehow, some way, with a skill set like marketing, for example, driving traffic. Marketing in and of itself can make anyone very wealthy. But at the end of the day, you master your skill set with that 10 grand, Kirk, because you can't really do much in anything else unless, of course, you go buy some Dogecoin and hope to God it fucking skyrockets. But that's a prayer. That's not a strategy. A good strategy would be take that 10 grand, go invest it in yourself, pick up a skill where you can make more money with that skill, and then you'll have more than 10 grand. And then you keep repeating it probably for the first 50 grand. And then now you're making some real money, and you're able to stack that paper, and then you'll get a bigger chunk. And then you start really investing when you have, $50,000 to $100,000 left over, and it's like, what do I do with this? Well, you get rid of it so you don't blow it, but you invest it, and then you just keep that process going. But self-development is where you should start, and you should never stop.
Advice on door-to-door sales: don't do it.
No, I disagree. Door-to-door sales is a freaking unbelievable opportunity, number one, but it's the opportunity to thicken your skin and become a badass. Why? Because you're going to get rejected and you're going to get your little feelings hurt. But if you pay attention and do it right, you're also going to learn how to freaking take rejection and let it roll off your back like a duck's butt. But in reality, as you invest, you're still in business. You're in business investing. So you're always going to be a businessman. The question is what kind of business are you referring to? A brick and mortar business? Is there an exit strategy? How do you get out of it? Because that's when you transition, my man. You transition into an investor when you don't need any more businesses, because you got so much fucking money. All you got to do is invest it and make more than you can spend. And that's the goal. Let's say, for example, you add them all up and you go, okay, my bills are $10,000 a month. Then I'd say throw on a dream, which means what? Like if you had no budgets, what would you be spending? Someone would say, oh man, I'd spend like 200 grand a month. Because again, monthly, you can live pretty freaking nicely at 200 grand a month. So at the end of the day, like that might be the tippy top. Well, when you literally say, okay, I need $200,000 a month, okay, how much money do you need to invest to get $200,000 a month in recurring interest-bearing accounts? Let's say you make 10% on your money, 5% on your money. Well, if you have $1 million, how much do you get every year? 50K. Well, that's not enough. You need 200 grand a month, 2.4 million a year. So you basically need freaking 200 grand a month. Shit, I need $10 million to get fucking 2 million a month. So $1 million, how much would that pay? So you start doing the math, and ultimately what you figure out is if it's 5 grand a month is your bills and you want to be financially free, you just go save up enough money to invest to where you're just getting your monthly fee coming from your cash flow asset, your investment. And boom, as long as that shit's solid, which real estate usually is, you're free.